which I think would be really fun to do.
That seems like a long time to just fall back to where you started.
And
so
you could
it would.
you could actually see what it was like in there.
Did you get to peek inside?
Yeah, but you didn't get to go inside.
Nice. Okay, and then this is something else. Where are you at in this picture?
That is a cockpit of a plane that is out of use and is now in the Air and Space Museum for an exhibit.
Very cool. How old was this plane?
I don't know. You know? From the looks of it, no more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we've got
that's one of the things that's just a lot newer. As
a much newer one.
Yeah. But that was used for the Orion thing. There's not really much to explain there because I pretty much explained it all in the first one.
Okay.
Now that's me.
Another one that people come back to Earth on that, and there you are with Uncle Sam.
Yeah, it's this thing called Shake Hands with Uncle Sam, and there were these lights next to a couple words that described something, and you shook his hand, like his pinky. It was like a little lever, and if you pulled it, it would cause all the lights to turn on, and technically turn off, and then one giant blinking one would go through all of the lights, and then it would land on one thing after you shook his hand like this twice. And I got expert on everything.
Way to go.
And then my sister did it, and she got untamable. Which is actually that one in the whose head is in the expert on everything.
Yes, I see.
And which is uncontrollable, which is an accurate description of her.
Is that the sister? Wait, which sister was it?
That one whose head is in the bottom of the picture.
Okay. Well, that sounds very cool, Tig. I was going to see if it said anything that we could read about. Apollo 12 landed in 1969. Yeah, okay. It's a little hard to zoom in, but very cool. Thank you for sharing about that, Tig.
I think Marcus and Alexander have questions.
Yeah, it looks like they do have some questions. We can take time for both of them to ask their questions. Go ahead, Marcus, first.
Well, I have two things. Okay, one, I wasn't quite here to see how many things, how many lights Uncle Sam had. How many lights did he have?
I think 12.
Huh. Okay. I also went canoeing yesterday, and we ended up playing Dead Man's Pool. Technically, there would be a sponge, but you could only pick it up with your oars, but you'd have to toss it into other people's canoes, and whoever got it in someone's canoe, their canoe was eliminated. And it ended up as me and Cole getting out first, but then we could harass everyone until the end of the game. Yes. And it ended up with someone jumping in the water. But
is that someone
you? Life jacket on. No. We all were wearing life jackets, and it was on a lake.
On your lake.
There would be a sponge in the middle of the water, but you could only pick it up with your oar and toss it with your oar, no hand.
That's a fun game. Had you ever done that before, Marcus?
Yesterday I have. Just make sure not to get splashed because I got soaked.
And it was probably a little chilly. get splashed with that
Yes.
water.
Well,
Alexander, did you have a question for Tig?
I have a question and a comment that was very scary for me yesterday. Yes, I mean, Tig, I have a question. How did you like it? Like, explain what was your favorite.
Well, it was really cool, and it showed you a lot of it had a lot of games that would simulate what would happen in different things, like if you were flying a rocket to Mars or something, or if you were a drone on the moon. But you could also go into a whole bunch of different planes and see the inside of those little things in the pictures. It was cool. It was cool, and I think my favorite game that I was telling you about there was this one where, I mean, of course it was fake and probably won't happen for another couple years. Well, couple hundred, but it was this thing where you could colonize Mars and
Ooh,
things there. It was so cool.
that does sound cool.
All right, on to my comment. I'm pretty sure I told you I don't like frogs, right?
Yes.
Yesterday, there was a frog on my ankle. I was
Wow,
going around
that sounds pretty terrifying, Alexander.
going around on a trampoline not for you, but for me. And then I just noticed like a frog hopped on me, and I jumped off the trampoline and kept on shaking my foot, and I was like screaming. Not funny, Emma. It was so scary for me. Man.
Okay, we'll trust you on that, Alexander. I don't know if everybody else agrees that frogs are terrifying, but everybody has their. Oh, Ariansh, you do too? Samhita, are you scared of frogs as well? I didn't know people were afraid of frogs. That's, I guess, a common fear. Okay, well, speaking of frogs, little frog, Mowgli, called Little Frog because he was just a naked little baby when they nicknamed him that, with smooth skin, not fur like the wolves. Just a naked little baby, Mowgli. We saw in part 3 him really grow up. It jumped ahead 10 years.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you something. Speaking of the Jungle Book, for part 4, all it showed were the questions, not the video.
Thanks for letting me know. I responded to your email and fixed the problem. So the video is there. So Mowgli got some advice from Bagheera in the chapter or the part that you read yesterday. Bagheera told him, watch out for those wolves. Some of the wolves are being swayed by Shere Khan to want to capture him, right? What do you think Mowgli's going to do? Is he going to listen to Bagheera's advice and be more careful? And he had a plan, or Bagheera gave him this plan of something he could use to defend himself. What was that? Josiah?
the red flower.
That's right, the red flower. And what was the red flower?
Fire.
Fire, that's right. Now, people don't have to be afraid of fire because we know how to use it well. So it was surprising to the animals, but humans were able to use fire for heat and light, and they are able to contain it and make sure that it's controlled well. But the animals only are fearful of fire. They don't have any ability to use it just for good. So that worked in Mowgli's favor, or that will work in Mowgli's favor. You'll see in the next part today when you read that. And sadly, a lot of these wolves are starting to really listen to Shere Khan and not think of Mowgli as one of their pack. But it makes sense that it would eventually happen because, Mowgli is a human. He's wise, and he has basically he intimidates the animals because they can tell that he would have the ability to use weapons and to be able to control them. So it scares them. But we're seeing Mowgli really grow up in the part that you read yesterday. And today you'll finish the Mowgli's Brothers story. Mowgli's Brothers was a standalone short story, so you'll finish that one up. And then we're going to be reading another Mowgli story that goes actually back in time to when he was pretty young, being taught by Baloo. So you'll be reading that story next week. Okay, we have history, just a quiz today. Should be pretty simple. And science, just some notes and a diagram is all for science. Let's get started on the Pledge of Allegiance and school motto. And then if we have time for more history and science conversation about what you did yesterday, we'll get to that. But Arshad, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor.
I will honor those things.
I will honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. And respect. I will respect others at all times. Service. I will do good things without being asked.
Excellence.
Excellence. I will strive for excellence at all times. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement.
Thank you. Join me for a moment of silence, please. Okay, boys and girls, let's start on some phonograms today. We'll start today with ooh, Can you please all write the phonogram ooh, And if you don't have your whiteboard and marker handy, take a moment to go grab them. Marcus, can you get your whiteboard and marker? Yes, Emma?
Can I say a joke after we do spelling review?
Please write the phonogram ooh, like tool or book. Ty, you're close. That does make those sounds, but that one is u, ooh. And this one is just ooh, that we're writing. Very good. It's the double O phonogram. Ooh, like tool or book. Next up, please write the phonogram O, the O of boat. O, the O of boat. Marcus, as I'm giving you words that say that use that phonogram, I think that you'll be able to write them correctly. O, the O of boat. Think of what makes an O sound in boat. Okay? O, the O of boat. Looks like this. Excellent job. Next up, please write EW always says E. EW always says E. Very good. Double E tells you what to write just there in the name. Next, please write E at A. E at A. E at A, like in the word read or tread. Great job, Emma. Great job, Kruti, Dikshita, Harika, Rishith, Aryan, Sahanasri, Tig, EA. And let's do one more. EI. We say EI, but we write IE. Or the nickname is EI Piece of Pie. EI. We say EI, but we write IE. That one also just tells you what to write. Okay, that's all for phonograms. Let's start with the word millionaire today for review. Millionaire. Millionaire. We can think to spell this millionaire. Millionaire. But I know the word million should be pretty familiar. And then air, a, silent final E. Great job, Rishith. Everyone hold up millionaire. I need to see everybody writing this one correctly. Josiah, I can't quite tell. Do you have the I in that A, two-letter A phonogram? Good. Okay, I couldn't quite see. Great job, Harika. I need to see words from Sahanasri, Marcus, Emma. Hold up millionaire, please. Great job, Emma. Great job, Sahanasri. Okay, you're almost there, Marcus. You need an I in that last syllable. Do you see air with an A-I-R-E? Great. Next up, please write orchestra. Orchestre. Marcus, orchestra. As soon as I say the word, you should start writing, okay? Good job. Orchestra, we think to spell orchestra. Orchestra. Check that your spelling matches mine. Next, please write college. College. Very similar spelling pattern to allege. We did that recently. Allege. We do not use j, three-letter j in this one. Great job, Marcus. Great job, Harika, Kruti, and Tig. Oh, almost, Josiah. You wrote the word collage. If we put an A before the G, it's the word collage, which is a near homophone and near homograph. So we want an E right there. Can you change it to an E, Josiah? Okay. Next, let's write benefit. Benefit. And please write beneficial. Beneficial. Tide, we think to spell benefit and beneficial. Can you change that? Great job, Samhita and Kruti. You got it, Tig. Benefit and beneficial. That middle syllable is just at E. Dikshita, you're close. Please write benefit and beneficial. Same with you, Sahanasri. We need an E in those middle syllables. Benefit. Okay, as soon as you're done with that, let's write one more. And I've got to erase my board for more room. Kernel. How do we think to spell kernel? Like Colonel Mustard. Samhita?
Colonel.
Good. Colonel. Please write colonel. But we pronounce it kernel. Yep, very good, Samhita. You got it. Colonel, we think to spell colonel. Okay, that's all for review today. Great job. You can erase your boards now. Tomorrow is our mastery test over these words, by the way. Tomorrow. Yeah, it is a mastery test, Emma. We did a quiz over these last Friday. So tomorrow is a mastery test day. Again, next week, you will not, nice job, Samhita. She wrote all the clue characters. Next week, you will not have any new spelling lessons Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday because of map testing. So it'll just be a good opportunity to review your old words, but you will not learn any new words next week. So this is the last lesson for a while. It's going to be the last lesson for like 10 days. Taking quite a long break. Oh, why'd you write Mount Vesuvius, Aryansh?
Because it's the only volcano that came to my mind till now. Another one came into my mind.
Well,
After we learned about Pompeii. But
and I don't know, why were you thinking of volcanoes?
I don't know. I just watched an epic video yesterday about volcanoes.
Okay. Very cool.
And on top of that, now I know another. Now I just realized there's another volcano that I know.
Okay, well, let's move on. I need you all to erase your boards at this point, and let's get ready for Sweetheart, we can't unmute without permission. Show me that you've got your binder and a pencil ready to go for a new spelling lesson. Yes, Emma?
Can I say my joke now?
Yes, this is a good time for it.
Okay. Why can why can't a bicycle stand on its own?
Doesn't have legs?
Mm-mm.
Does anybody else want to guess? Why can a bicycle not stand on its own? You can call on someone, Emma.
Is he calling me?
Mhm.
I think it's because the bicycle needs training wheels.
No, Alina.
It only has 4 wheels. It can only crawl.
No, Ariane.
Because of gravity. I mean, it's obviously going to fall down.
No, Pruthi.
This is hard.
Because it doesn't have a kickstand.
What did you say?
Because it doesn't have a kickstand.
No. Samhita.
Is it because it has 2 wheels?
No.
Okay, let's get maybe one more guess. And then you'll have to just tell us if we can't get it.
Okay. Tag.
Tell me the joke one more time, please.
Why can't a bicycle can't stand on its own?
Because it was too tired.
Correct.
Oh, you got it.
But can I tell one quick one?
Maybe after our spelling lesson.
And also, there was
Okay.
a frog in our tennis court once.
Terrifying.
And
Not
then
a
one of
frog.
them brought it out into the grass. She actually touched it and brought it into the grass.
Well, I don't think of frogs as being something to be scared of, but they are kind of weird and slimy. So I do get them. Kind of slimy.
He was like hiding in the corner. Whenever we were picking up balls, we saw it.
Oh. Okay, well, boys and girls, let's start our new spelling lesson. The first word today is disappoint. Disappoint. Or if we add ed to the end of it, disappointed.
I am disappointed in you.
Yeah, Marcus, I'm disappointed. Oh, it's kind of like let down. But disappoint on its own is used as a verb, like she disappointed her sister by telling her they couldn't go to the pool today. That's disappointing, isn't it? So disappoint, we're just looking at the base of it. We can add ing or ed to past tense ending. A lot of times you'll hear that, either disappointing or disappointed, but this is just disappoint. We basically have the word appoint, like an appointment, that kind of appoint, and we're adding the prefix dis to the front of it. Say the word disappoint with me. We think of it as disappoint. Disappoint. 3 syllables. First syllable is d, is. 3 sounds, basic code. Next syllable is a, with a silent p there to keep the vowel short. Disap. Finally, point. Point. We're going to use oi that we do not use at the end of English words for that oi sound. Please pick up your pencil and write disappoint. We're writing disappoint, Marcus. Disappoint. Do you have your binder, Marcus? Great job, Tig. We have only one double consonant in this word, though. Let me give you, or how about you cross it out and try again? Disappoint is the way we think to spell that. Or think of it this way, Tig. We're going to have the word appoint, just appoint, with the prefix dis and the syllable in front.
I only did one double consonant.
Oh, sorry. I thought I saw two S's in your word.
Oh, I did do two.
Okay. Disappoint. Yeah, we want the prefix dis to stand on its own in the first syllable, and then appoint. Hold yours up when you're done. Arshab, can you make sure you're holding it up after each word? And try to come a little closer to the camera if possible. Oh, it's so blurry. Oh, now I can see it. Perfect. Thank you. Disappoint. Let's write it. Dis, syllable break. Ap, syllable break. Point. Disappoint. Okay, could I have Sahanasri mark the word for us?
Okay. First, I think the first syllable is basic code.
That's right.
And the second syllable,
We say disappoint.
thinking capital A.
Good.
And double underline the P.
Good.
And
And
then
the last syllable.
underline Oi.
Good. And that's all. Do you know what part of speech this is, Sahanasri?
Is it a verb?
Yep, you got it. It's a verb.
Okay.
Well done, sweetie. Okay, check that your spelling matches mine, boys and girls. Thumbs up if you're done. Okay, next up. We've got two words that come from the base word special, although we're not going to have special as one of the words, okay? But special is the base. The first one we're going to do is specialize. Can you all say specialize? So special is like unique, basically. If something is special, it's different and unique. To specialize means that you are doing the action of choosing something unique. Specialize. Can you all say specialize? Specialize. 3 syllables. Like when you go to college, you would specialize in specific subjects that you're interested in studying. Or by choosing one sport over another. That's like specializing in one sport. Okay, let's think of this as specialize. That middle syllable is shall. Specialize. 3 syllables. First syllable is sp, 3 sounds, basic code. Next syllable is sh, 3 sounds. That's a short letter sh there. Finally, I, z, 2 sounds with the silent finally job 1, making I say its name. Pick up your pencil, please, and write specialize. We think to spell specialize. Give me a thumbs up when you're done, please. Spe, syllable break. Sh-a-ol, syllable break. Special. And then I-z, silent final E. Special eyes. Marcus, would you mark the word for us? And check that you're
Yes, I
spelling
will.
that.
Okay. Specialize. Okay. There's a silent final E.
Good.
I think there's a syllable break.
For the middle, so this is basic code, but for the middle syllable, do you see a 2-letter phonogram?
Yes, C and I and A out.
Good. CI work together to make one sound. It makes the sh sound. Now we say special. So how are we going to mark the A? And boys and girls, you can help them out by showing hand motions if you know. What are we going to do to the A? You remember what we call that, Marcus?
A thinking cap.
Good job. Thinking cap that A. Now finally, over here, last syllable, I says its name, special eyes. So what do we do?
Underline it.
Great job. And we're also going to underline the Z because it's part of a vowel, consonant, vowel pattern. This is a verb. Great job on that, Marcus. Okay. Our next word also comes from that base word special. To turn special into an adverb, we say especially. Would you all say that with me? Especially. Like, I am especially tired today. It is turning it into an adverb to mean kind of very, it's like over the top. If you say especially, it's like, oh, it is really, really strong in whatever it is you're talking about. Tyke?
I feel especially tired too, because my sister, who shares a pull-up, my older younger sister, pull-out couch with me and my mom, and so last night, so you know how we're in a different time zone than
Yes.
you guys were an hour ahead. Okay, well she woke me up at I don't know, like 4:50 your time, saying it was something about her birthday's in 2 days, so it was some. I think it was something about her birthday hair or something. Saying, "Hi, look at this."
Oh my goodness, your sisters sound very funny, but that would be exhausting if it's waking you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Okay, so our word is especially. Sound it out with me. Especially. 4 syllables. First syllable is eh. That's e. In that first syllable. Just e. Next syllable, sp, 3 sounds. And then sh, a, ul, 3 sounds. That's special. Special. And then we're going to add another ul as part of the ly adverb suffix. Okay? Especially. Ul, e. So the word special is the base, then add e in front of it, and add the ly adverb ending to the end of it. Pick up your pencil and write especially. Especially. So you will need a double L because we've got to have that word special plus the ly adverb suffix. Arshab, would you hold yours up if you're done? Marcus, are you writing especially? Thank you, Arshab. Marcus, are you writing especially? That's what we should be writing. Especially. Saha Nasri, it's a little hard to see. Do you have an A for special? Special is the way we think to spell it. And it's going to be that way for the next one too. Okay, can you rewrite it with an A? I think it's a little hard to see, but it should be an A there. Let's write especially. 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 Check that your spelling matches mine. And if you need to make a mistake or make corrections, cross it out and rewrite it. If you have mistakes, I mean to say. Okay, Alexander, you can mark it for us.
Especially the E is thinking cap and underline because it's an open syllable and it's saying but it's supposed to say E.
Yeah, and we even say it kind of as an I sound sometimes, especially. Anyway, it's unstressed, so it definitely doesn't say an E sound.
I think it's basic code.
You got it. Basic code.
See y'all. Short letter is underlined.
Perfect.
And then the A has a thinking cap.
Very good.
In the lead, there's a 3 above the Y.
Perfect. And we end up having a silent L because it's always the first of those 2 consonants between a syllable break.
That's weird because I always say specially, like with 2 L's.
Oh, like you say both sounds? Especially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I say especially only.
Actually, and let me double check that that's going to be the silent one because the L is part of the, you know what? You are exactly right, Alexander. They say especially, we basically pronounce both L's.
Yep.
So we're not going to put either of them as silent.
Yep.
Great job on that, Alexander. So neither of the L's are silent. Pretty unusual. Well done. Okay, what part of speech is it with that ly suffix?
A noun?
It's an adverb.
Adverb. I remember that.
Great job picking up on that double consonant. That's pretty unusual because we say both sounds, especially. And you can hear that a little bit more clearly when you put fingers under your chin. Especially. We say an ol sound in both of them, both syllables. Okay, our last word is annual. Would you all say annual? Does anybody know what this word means? Annual? Tyke?
I think a synonym for it would be yearly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, annual means yearly, like it happens once a year.
I know that. I've heard the word before.
Great.
I think it's because we're annual pass holders at Disney.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You might have an annual pass, which means it lasts for the whole year. Now, it comes from a Latin word annus, which means year.
I also have an annual pass for Silver Dollar City.
Ooh, nice. That'll come in handy when you're in Arkansas, back in Arkansas. So annual comes from that Latin word annus, which means year. So you'll probably hear a lot of different vocabulary words that come from this, like anniversary comes from this as well. An anniversary is like a celebration that happens once a year. That's right. It's like your parents probably celebrate their anniversary, and that happens once a year, that it's in honor of when they got married. And there's other anniversaries too. Biannual means twice a year. That word is taking that word annual and then saying that it happens twice because of that prefix bi. So we'll talk about that one later too. But let's go ahead and sound out annual. We think of it as annual. Annual. 3 syllables. Say it with me again. Annual. 3 syllables. First syllable is a, and you. A with, I'm going to check actually which one's silent here again. Yeah, the first n is silent. It's just there to make a say its first sound. A. Next syllable, n, u, 2 sounds. U is in an open syllable saying its name. And finally, a-ol, and you, al. There should be 2 n's. Make sure you have the double n. Pick up your pencil and write it. Annual, we think to spell annual. Thank you, Tig, for holding it up when you're done. Everyone, please follow his example and doing that too. Marcus, did you write annual yet? We're writing annual. Okay. An, syllable break. N, u, syllable break. A, ol. Annual. Could I have Alina mark the word for us?
Okay. So first you put D on top of the U and put a thinking cap on the second A.
We're going to underline the U since it says its name. And then, yes,
I
thinking
think
cap
that's
there.
all.
And the first N is silent.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, you got it. Annual is an adjective. Let's write these in cursive now. Disappoint. And actually, that's all of the cursive we're going to be doing for today since we are a little short on time. Notice all of these three have the al, which makes an ol sound. Special and annual. All of those have the al making an ol sound. Okay, so disappoint, specialize, especially, and annual. Write them in cursive. Yes, Alexander?
I am just like, I thought you said manual at first.
It does sound like it.
Uh-huh. And there's one thing I was gonna say I forgot. Can I think about it and then tell you?
Yes. Let me know when you're done with your writing. Hold it up so I can see your cursive. You thought of it, Alexander?
I don't have to do cursive because every word I write the cursive. So I'm free when you say, please write the cursive, because I just write it right after the word.
Nice. I think Alina does that too, right, Alina? Okay. Once you're done with your cursive, you can put your binder away, and we're going to take out well-ordered language. We'll do some jingle review, and then we'll do a new lesson. By the way, I forget if I told you this yesterday, but we are not going to do any well-ordered language next week during those math testing days. So we're taking a break from well-ordered language, but that's okay because we're almost done with the whole book. So we'll finish up the book when we finish map tests, after map testing. And then for the rest of the year, we'll be able to review all of the things you've learned so far with grammar this year. You guys have rocked it with well-ordered language. You're going to be so ready for 4th grade well-ordered language because you guys already have such a strong foundation, and some of this is just going to be review next year.
We're doing well-ordered language again next year.
Yes, you'll keep it going for a few years, and it just gets a little harder as you learn new parts of speech. And
What year does it stop?
Right now it stops at 6th grade, but eventually it's going to actually stop at 8th grade because it's just going to slow down.
Oh.
So as 4th graders, you'll probably do 2 books like this, but then when you're 5th graders, it's going to be maybe 1 book for the whole year instead of 2. And then same with 6th, 7th, and 8th.
So there's
That's the plan right now.
So theirs is just one big thick well-ordered language book.
You know, it's not much bigger than this. It's just going to slow down so that you don't do it every single day
Oh.
by the time you're 5th graders. That's the plan for right now, though. It may change, but I was in a meeting recently and we were talking through it, and that's what it should end up being. Let's review the ones that are posted here. I'm going to present over to our jingles. Okay, let's start with the 4 classes of verbs. Can you sing it along with me? These are classes of classes of verbs. A transitive verbs, linking verbs, intransitive verbs, and helping verbs. These are 4 classes of verbs. Transitive verb takes an objective element. A linking verb joins a subject to a predicate. An intransitive verb does not take an objective element or join a subject to a predicate. A helping verb helps another verb express its meaning. A helping verb helps another verb express its meaning. These are 4 classes of verbs. These are the 4 classes of verbs. So what are the 4 classes of verbs? Who can list what they are according to the song? Josiah?
Transitive verbs,
Good.
linking verbs, help verbs,
And
intransitive verbs.
way to go, Josiah. That was perfect. Okay, so transitive verbs, linking verbs, intransitive verbs, and helping verbs. Let's do the direct object jingle next. By the way, I'm looking at page 202. That's where we're going to be doing some work today. And we're doing the review section. Okay, what is a direct object next?
A direct object is an objective element that tells what the subject is acting on. It's a noun or pronoun after a transitive verb. It answers the question what or whom after the verb and is labeled D-O.
Okay, so according to our song, what is a direct object? A direct object is what, Arianch?
It's an objective element that is after a transitive verb.
Good. An objective element that's after a transitive verb. Now it answers the question. What are the 2 direct object questions? Harika?
What or whom?
Good job. It answers the questions what or whom after the verb. Okay, let's go back to that song of the 4 classes of verbs and think through what a transitive verb is. A transitive verb takes an objective element, is what our song says. Can you say that with me? A transitive verb takes an objective element. For example, Marcus shot the basketball. Or actually, maybe we should do the sponge game on the canoe. Marcus tossed the sponge with the oar. I don't know if toss would be the right word for that. But Marcus tossed the sponge.
Marcus picked up the sponge with his oar.
Picked up the sponge with his oar. Nice. So the transitive verb in that sentence is picked. Marcus picked what? He picked up the sponge. Or tossed the sponge. Tossed is a transitive verb. It takes on that object of the sponge. That's what was tossed. It answers the question, what or whom. The sponge was what was tossed. Okay, let's go over the object pronouns as well. Actually, we've done the object pronouns jingle quite a bit. Let's do the just pronoun jingle. It's been a while.
A pronoun is a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. A pronoun is a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. A pronoun is a part of speech.
So, what is a pronoun according to that song? Emma, what's a pronoun?
Is a part of speech used in place of a noun or noun.
Perfect. It's a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. Now, we've learned some plural pronouns and some singular pronouns. Let's go through the object pronoun song and think through which ones are singular, one, and then which ones are plural, more than one. So think through which of these would be singular, which one are plural.
Object pronouns are in the objective case.
I'm gonna put
Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Object pronouns are in the objective case. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Me, you, him, her, it.
So, which of those were singular and which of those were plural of the ones we just went through? Aryansh?
So the singular ones were me, you, him, her, it, and then I'm forgetting the plural ones though.
Okay. Me, you, him, her, it. What's next?
Us.
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 Good. That's one of the plural ones. Us. What comes next?
You, them.
You and them. Very good. So you can be singular or it can be plural. I know that one's kind of confusing, but you can be either one, singular or plural. It also can be a subject or an object pronoun, either one. That's the only one that does not change. You is still just you, whether it's singular or plural, even though some people say you all as a plural you. And in most languages, they do have a separate pronoun for the plural you. Okay, let's do a little bit of this Learn It section, and then you are going to be doing the lessons to practice on your own. We actually don't have any sentences to analyze together today. All right, I am doing this from page 202. Would you turn there in your workbook? Okay, Kruti, could you read the instructions for us?
On the lines provided, write your favorite newly construction sentence. I actually might have one.
Oh, can you already think of one out of the nouns here?
Well, not all of them, but half of them at least.
Okay. Now, before you start, I want you to think through that these can be either subjects or direct objects. So far, oh, and also objects of the preposition. So far, those are the three ways that we use nouns in a sentence: as a subject, direct object, and object of the preposition. I'll just do object of the prep. So you can construct a sentence with several of these, making maybe pepper is the subject in a sentence. Maybe it's a direct object, maybe it's an object of the preposition, and you can use some of these as others. Okay, Kruti, can you come up with a sentence for us?
Fritz put cheese, pepper, and pickles on her bread. The ducklings were staring at her with a cupcake because she was not wearing gloves. She was doing it with her hands and not a fork or gloves. And she put milk on the table beside the shoes.
As soon as we see, I don't know about you guys, but when there's noun lists like this, it starts coming up with nonsense sentences just to make it all tie together. So they can be really funny, and you can do sort of nonsense sentences. But the first one Kruti gave was actually really logical and used a lot of these well. I think he said something like, Fritz put cheese and ketchup on the bread. Or you could say on the sandwich, right? So Fritz is the subject, and then put cheese and ketchup, for example, those are compound direct objects, on the bread. That's used as an object of the preposition. Let's do that one, but we will take some time to think of others as well. So Fritz will make the subject. What did he do? He put, that's our predicate verb. What did he put? Well, you could say a lot of different things on a sandwich. If you want to be goofy with this, you are welcome to. Maybe he put, some pencils on his sandwich, some peanuts and books, very tasty. Some hands, oh, this would be a very weird sentence. Okay, how about we say he put cheese, maybe he put some cheese and pepper on his cupcake. If you want to be silly like that, you can put that. But I'll do just a logical sentence. He put cheese and ketchup on his sandwich. That's a normal sentence, but if you want to be goofy with it, you are welcome to. So we've got one noun here, Fritz. You have cheese and ketchup are both nouns used as direct objects in the sentence. And then sandwich is used as a DO. So we've got a subject. Oh, sorry, not DO. That's an object of the preposition. And these are DOs, and this is a subject. You don't have to analyze your sentence. I'm just trying to show you that we can use nouns in 3 ways: subjects, direct objects, and objects of the preposition. And once again, you're welcome to make it silly. If you want to make Fritz eat some shoes, you can make him eat some shoes. Arianch?
Well, you can't say it's disgusting because at the starving time, the
Good point.
yeah, they did eat shoes to survive,
Oh.
but for
Excellent point. If you want to make it a historical sentence, maybe you could say, some of the colonists ate shoes in the starving time. Fritz ate 7 million what? Pencils?
Fritz ate 7 million pencils and threw cheese at Mom.
Oh, goofy. Okay, you guys can make silly sentences or actually making Fritz eat some shoes during the starving time. That's historical. Good point, Arianch. It did come from an animal if it's a leather shoe. Samhita?
Can I share my sentence? I'm already done writing it.
Okay.
It's not a silly sentence. It's just one that I just thought of. Heidi set the table with sandwiches and cupcakes to eat for lunch.
Oh, set the table with sandwiches and cupcakes. So those are both objects of the preposition. We haven't done that yet, but you can have a compound object of the preposition. Set the table with what? Sandwiches and cupcakes. Rishith?
Can I share my sentence?
Yes, and you'll be the last one to share because we're going to move on to orthography next.
Okay. Fritz put books, a table, and pickle on his cupcake.
Ah, gross. Oh my goodness. The only word from here that I think you might not know is crocus, which is flower. So I'd imagine that some of you don't know that type of flower. That's the only one that I would think might be new for you though. Okay, let's move on. That's the only thing that we have for the lesson to learn page. For your lessons to practice, you're going to be analyzing some sentences on your own and telling whether it's a proper or common noun. We've got Texas, cherries, parrot, Thursday, thumb, and Peggy. And then another practice of constructing a sentence using these words. Alone the tree apple boy climbed and young. Okay, let's turn to orthography at this time. And we're going to write our words from lesson 110. And I'm on page 65. You guys should be on page 65, I believe, as well. Writing words for lesson 110 and sorting a couple too. All right, first word is disappoint. Disappoint. Great job, Marcus. Great job, Alina. Disappoint. Next is specialize. Eyes. Special eyes. Next is especially. Especially. Remember 2 L's, and we actually even say both ol sounds. Especially. And finally, annual. An-u-al. Okay, we're going to sort in a couple spots as well. Just a minute. Don't put it away quite yet. We are a little bit short on time because we need to start math soon, but I want to write a couple places. Let's turn to page 7, the sounds of sh page 7. And let's write specialize and especially in the short letter sh column. Specialize and especially.
What page?
Page 7.
What page?
7. And Tig's idea of annual as a synonym for yearly would be great, but I'm afraid we're out of room on page 12, so we won't be able to add that. But otherwise, that would be a great spot. Page 12, the synonym page, to write annual. But since we don't have space, let's write annual in the very back, the U page. Page 85, 85. We'll write annual on the U column, sounds of U. And you will. And one more spot, page 33. 33, we can write the prefix dis in disappoint. Dis means not or against. Disappoint is an example of that. Okay. And then we will be finished. So we've got a pretty simple lesson today, or I think it'll be pretty simple for you guys, on reading temperature on a thermometer. So the lesson itself should be pretty quick for math today. I do want to go over your homework pages though, specifically those ones that I said you might have questions on, 16 and 19. Did anybody figure those out? Okay. If you didn't, it's okay because we didn't do an example of something quite like it. So we will make sure that we go over it today. And if you left it blank, it's okay. Those numbers, 16 and 19. Okay, we're going to put our orthography notebook away, and we will be taking, oh, actually, I don't think we'll take any notes in our math notebook today. So don't take that math notebook out yet. Because we're going to be mainly focusing on, just reading a thermometer. And thinking through whether a certain temperature is hot or cold. with degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so that's what we'll be focusing on today, but let's go over your homework first. Okay. Your homework started on page 159. Did anybody have questions about page 159? Let's open up to page 159 first. Any questions about that one? I think that should have been pretty simple. Page 160 got into drawing out a timeline because you've got hours and minutes. Any questions about this page, page 160? Okay, let's go over a few of these answers just so I can double check how you guys are doing. Harika, could you tell me what you wrote for number 9 on page 160? The time between 7:45 a.m. and 9:50 a.m. How much time has elapsed? Harika, sweetie, can you unmute yourself and tell your answer for number 9?
Okay, there. Oh, which page again?
Page 160, 160. $160. Is everybody on page 160? Good. You know what? I'll have Rishith do number 9, and then I'll have you share your answer for number 10.
Okay.
Rishith, can you tell me what you wrote for number 9? Rishith, would you please unmute and tell me your answer for number 9? Rishith, can you tell me your answer? We've got to go a little faster, bud. And if you have a mistake, it's okay. I'm just wanting to see how you guys are doing. So what did you write for number 9? Rishith, can you speak up louder?
It keeps on unmuting.
Rishith, I need you to unmute yourself and speak up a little louder, okay? You're muted, Rishith. Okay, we can't wait any longer, but Rishith, I need you to be able to unmute yourself. Okay, Arshad, tell me number 9, and then Harika number 10, and Rishith, I want you to unmute yourself for number 11.
No, my answer for number 9 is 2 hours, 5 minutes.
Perfect, 2 hours, 5 minutes. Who got the same thing as Arshad? You could draw your timeline to get to 8 o'clock, and then 8 to 9, and then 9 to 9:50. Or you could just think 7:45 to 9:45 is 2 hours and then another 5 minutes. Is that what you did, Arshad? Yeah, that's what I would do too. Harika, number 10, can you tell us your answer? And Rishith, try to unmute yourself so that you're ready for number 11. Oh, goodness. Okay, Rish, boys and girls, we've got to be really careful about unmuting ourselves and not leaving the meeting because I need to be able to call on you just as if we were in class. Deekshita? Number 10.
My answer is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
2 hours and 40 minutes. Yes, good job. And Rishith, since you are unable to unmute yourself for some reason, type your answer to number 11 in the chat. I need to be able to check your answers, boys and girls. Harika, you also please write your answer in the chat. Actually, you write your answer for number 12 in the chat, okay? And if you've got mistakes, boys and girls, it's okay. I just need to make sure that you're doing the work and that you're understanding our concepts. Okay, moving on to page 161. I want Rishith and Harika to write their answers, but for everybody else, let's move on to page 161. Any questions about these? Alexander, we're not going to go through all of them, but you can share number 14. This is one where we've got a start time and an end time.
Yep. So what I did on here was Suski exercises every morning. She starts at 6:30 a.m. and ends at 8:15 a.m. How long does she exercise? I did my number line. That's something I think it's called that, right?
Yes, or they call it a timeline.
Yeah, the timeline. So we started at 6:30 a.m. and then we did 2 hours to 8 a.m. and then 8 a.m. then an extra 10 minutes, which equals 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Good. So 1 hour here, 30 minutes here.
Yep.
15 minutes here. So it should be 1 hour and 45 minutes. Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I think your calculation was a little bit off, but it sounds like your process was correct. It should be 1 hour, 45 minutes. Rishith, thank you for your honesty with that, but you've got to tell me immediately. Don't just sit there silently because then we're wasting some class time. Can you please tell me immediately if that's the case? And you'll need to do these pages on your own today, okay? Yes, ma'am? And next time, tell me right away. Don't just sit there, okay? Because I thought that there was a problem with muting and unmuting, but really, I know you're just a little embarrassed, but tell me up front. It's okay. Just tell me to at the very beginning. Okay, moving on to page 162. I want to go over, and Rishith, you can fill this in with us. Number 16, we didn't do a problem quite like this, but I'd love to hear from someone who was able to solve it. Ariansh, tell me your process.
So what I did was the time that she left Lisa left the library, I subtracted that time by how much time she was there, and then she got there at 3:25 p.m.
Good, 3:25. Yeah, you can actually subtract for this one, and there's no regrouping. So basically 5 hours minus. What's that?
If there is regrouping, then it's a lot harder to do it.
Yeah, so you could subtract the time and get the right answer. So it'd be 3:25. But just to show what that looks like on a timeline, I would do this, boys and girls. If you know when it ends and you know how long it took, look at the hours first. Go back 2 hours to 3:40. So we did the 2 hours. Now we just have to go back 15 minutes. And 15 minutes before 3:40 is 3:25, since 40 minus 15 is 25. Okay, so for those of you who maybe didn't do that one, it's okay because we didn't do an example of that. But you have an end time like this. Go back the hours first, and then go back the minutes is what I would do. Okay. We did one of these where we have the start and stop time. We haven't done one of these yet. So Ty, can you share what you did for number 18?
Okay. 17.
We're going to skip 17 and do number 18.
Okay. Mr. Nelson, which just so happens to be my middle name,
Aw.
took 3 hours, 30 minutes to decorate his classroom. He started at 9:20 a.m. What time did he finish? So, first, I did a 30-minute jump from 9:20 to 9:50.
Okay. That's a little different than our book shows us, but I think you're going to get the right answer. So I'm good with that. So you did the minutes, 9:20 to 9:50. What'd you do next?
Next, I took a 3-hour jump, which would take me to 12:50, and that's the 3 hours, 30 minutes. So my final answer was 12:50.
Perfect. Well done. And we jumped from AM to PM. Yeah, you did the minutes, then you did the hours. That works well. Once again, different than the example that they do in our book, but that works very well. Use the timeline however it works for you, boys and girls. So if you want to do the minutes, then the hours, you can do that. If you wanted to jump to 10 o'clock, that actually makes it a little harder for you. So I would suggest not doing that. And it kind of depends on what times you're working with, but this works well. Finally, number 19 is another one that we work backwards for. So who was able to solve number 19? Okay, Dikshita, tell us how you did it. If he landed at 2:25 a.m. and the flight was 4 hours and 45 minutes long, what time did the flight take off?
I went 2 hours back, so that gave me 12:25 a.m. Then we had to go another 2 hours because it said 4 hours.
Good. I think that's helpful to do 2 hours to 12 so that you're going back to that. And then another 2 hours to 10 because I know it can be tricky to think 4 hours back would be 10 o'clock. Maybe you don't think of that immediately.
Then we do a 20 minutes jump.
Okay. I would suggest doing a 25-minute jump
25 minutes.
So that it gets you to 10 o'clock. But keep going.
We have so now we have still 20 more minutes. So that equals 9:40 p.m.
Good job. Well done on that, Dikshita. Yeah, excellent work. Okay, that is elapsed time. That was quite a bit to do for just one day. So that's why I wanted to spend more time today because your temperature lesson, I think, is going to be super easy today. So it's okay for us to spend less time. How are you guys feeling about elapsed time, making these timelines? We'll have review days next week for this unit. And this is one I think that would be good to keep reviewing. So don't worry about it. If this is still a little confusing, this is going to be part of review next week. Okay, now let's move on to temperature. Okay, just a little overview of temperature for today. Now we are going to be talking about degrees in just Fahrenheit. How many of you sometimes use degrees Celsius to measure temperature, which is common in lots of other countries, but in America, we use Fahrenheit. I know some of your parents might talk about degrees Celsius, but we're going to be talking about degrees Fahrenheit for measuring temperatures. Now, who knows how many degrees Fahrenheit is when things freeze? Who knows what the freezing point is in Fahrenheit? Alexander?
20 degrees?
Good guess, but no, it's 32. Oh, sorry, Kruti and Ariansh. I should have called on you guys. I could see you knew it. And what is this that we use to measure temperature? Who can tell me that? Samhita?
Thermometer?
Good, a thermometer. So a thermometer is used for measuring temperature, whether it's a thermometer used to measure your body temperature. Probably many of you have a thermometer at home that's for measuring your body's temperature, or a thermometer for outside. There's also like meat thermometers in ways of, so they've got different thermometers for different purposes. We're not going to hear about all of the different types like we did measurement. Just kind of getting the basics of temperature. So Ariansh, what does it say here is water's boiling point, the hottest temperature measured on this thermometer?
I didn't even read it, but I already know it's 212.
Well done. You've just memorized that? That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, 212 is, yeah, that is very, very hot. So that's when water boils. So if you had hot water or boiling water touch you, that would burn you. And that is not what would be the temperature like outside on a hot day. That's boiling water hot. Now, outside, a hot day might be around 100 degrees. That's a very hot day in the summer, right? Or it shows here like 105 degrees would be a hot day. 75 degrees is like what we would have had yesterday or today. It's around that temperature. It's a warm day, kind of warm and sunny. 68 degrees Fahrenheit is probably about how warm your houses are. It's kind of room temperature, we would call it. Kruti?
Actually, yesterday I went ahead because I couldn't help myself and did like a few pages of them.
Oh, it was just too tempting?
I know. I was like, come on, don't do it. And then I just did it.
Oh, that's okay, Kruti. Is it because you were just thinking, oh, I know this stuff. I can just do it right now? Yeah, I think it'll be pretty simple. So 50 degrees or so would be a cool day. Now, 32 degrees is when water starts to freeze. So if there's precipitation in the air, then it's going to freeze over to be ice or snow or sleet. And then 10 degrees is a cold day, although we know from our super cold snap, we had -10 or -20 degrees a couple months ago, right? That's how cold it got, -10.
It was -46 degrees in New York. What you mean?
Oh, now that is cold. Yeah, I bet New York and Canada got really, really cold. We got to about -20, which was still pretty darn cold. Okay, now for reading temperature, it's going to be very similar to measurements that we talked about. Now, most of these are going to have a little line for every 1 degree. So like this goes from 100 to 110. This is 105 right in the middle. And then each of these is just going up by 1 degree. So like that is about right there for the thermometer. How many degrees Fahrenheit is this one? Josiah, can you tell me how hot this is?
How hot that would be?
Mm-hmm. It's right between 100 and 110 degrees.
105 degrees.
Good. And you're going to be using words, mainly not really reading the temperatures, but thinking through, is that hot, warm, cool, or cold? And think about like if it was that temperature outside, would you call that hot, warm, cool, or cold? Preeti? I like that you're showing what it would be with your hand motion. Very hot, that's right. Okay, we're also going to go over some pictures of things that you would do. Would it be about 72 degrees if you're playing basketball with shorts and short sleeve shirt, or would it be about 38 degrees Fahrenheit? Ariansh?
It's gonna be obvious. 72.
Yeah, 72. Now,
38 is too cold to even wear something like that.
yeah, although there are some people who I know that wear basically sandals and shorts every single day, even if it's freezing. Emma, would it be about 60 degrees or 10 degrees if they're playing with the snowman?
It's 10.
Yep, it would be about 10 degrees. Alexander, do you see this kettle? Would it be about 50 degrees or 212 degrees?
212.
Yeah, that is the boiling point of water.
I can also
Okay.
make myself red when I pretend like that it's degree to connect to this.
Okay, well, that was basically the whole unit going through if it is hot, warm, cool, or cold. And you're going to be doing that and finding the temperature in your workbook pages for today. Try your best. I would recommend, even if you have a ruler, to use that ruler to draw a line out to help you measure the temperature as best you can for these thermometers. Okay, so try your very best to be close to the degree. Measure to the nearest degree, not just round down to 90, but find the actual nearest degree. And remember that we're thinking through, like if these are temperatures outside, about 100 degrees would be hot. So think about, if it's close to 100 degrees, you would say hot. If it's about 70 or 75, that's what we would say is like warm temperature. Cool would be about 40 or 50. I think that in our textbook, they say cool is about 50 degrees. And then cold, you could say like the freezing point, 32. So just think through which of those it's closest to. Now, if you got a temperature of about 60 degrees and you said warm instead of cool, or cool instead of warm, that's okay. Just try to get close. Try your best to get close. And then you'll have some practice of circling about what temperature would match an activity of like reading indoors. Would you be reading indoors at a house that's 18 degrees or 70 degrees? I think some of these are going to be pretty standard. Now, notice this one. This is a really minimal difference between 98 and 102, but we're seeing a thermometer in the little boys in bed. So Ariansh, which of these temperatures would be for him? What's his internal body temperature?
It's probably going to be 98 if he has the flu.
So 98 is actually pretty standard for your body's temperature. 102 would be sick, like running a fever. So probably it's that. 98 is about the average for your body's internal temperature, or technically people say 98.6.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a good one to point out. So if 98.6 is about healthy for your body temperature, but he looks sick, he might have a 102 degree temperature. Emma?
My room is sometimes cold because my sister is in my room because I have my my grandma on my dad's side here, so she has to sleep in my room, and it's pretty cold in my room.
Oh, does she like to keep it pretty cold?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last activity that you're going to be doing is to shade the thermometer to the right temperature. Okay, I think that you'll be able to do all of these without a problem. That is your math for today, all on temperature. Kruthi, you have a question before we go?
Not exactly question, but I know that like if you have a fever, it wouldn't be 98, it would be like 102 because I had a fever a few days ago actually, and so I would know because it was like 102 maybe. Or
oh my goodness, I didn't know you were that sick that day you were gone.
Not that day, but probably the day before, like on Sunday, I was sick.
Sorry, Kruthi. I didn't know it was that much of a fever. I'm glad that you are doing okay now. Okay, well, I'll have just my Thursday reading group stay at this time. Everybody else can head out. I will see you guys tomorrow, Friday.
Bye.
You guys soon.
Bye, Miss Garner.